Never stop learning because life never stop teaching. Welcome to Focus on Education on KG Flash with me, Ambassador Jimmy Josh. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Nairobi, Kenya time, and from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monrovia, Liberia town. This program looks into the comparative analysis and appreciation of the education systems of Liberia, Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the world with my everyday guests. Morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are following this live broadcast on KG Flash. I would like to officially welcome you to the second edition of the program Focus on Education. Focus on Education is a program designed to look deeper into the education system and to bring out some competitive analysis of the education systems in Liberia, Africa, Kenya, and the rest of the world. Today we have our guest, and our guest is Celeste. She's an educationalist, a master's student. So, welcome to our microphone. Thank you. So, who is Celeste? Okay, I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Celestine Otieno. I'm a postgraduate student at Kenyatta University. I come from Homa Bay County, and I'm a teacher by profession. Uh, I'm a teacher of history and CRE, that is Christian Religious Education. And in Kenyatta University, I study, this department, it has a long name, Educational Management, Policy and Curriculum Studies. Yeah. So what specific do you study? I study educational management. Yeah. Okay, so what are some of the importance that you could motivate our audience? Why is it important to study education management? Okay, when we talk about educational management, it is a broad area of study. We talk about supervision, we talk about curriculum development, we talk about human resource or human management, among many other things. So it is a broad area, and our main focus is in educational. Maybe we can say it is all about educational section. Yeah. So you speak about curriculum development. So now we understood that Kenya has two operational curriculum. Yeah. And they are the 844 and they are the CBC. Competency based curriculum. Which is the CBC. Yes. So in your opinion, you want to express here, which do you prefer? Okay, as an educationalist, I can't rely on one because uh, when we talk about educational system in Kenya, it started far, like back when the colonialists were in Kenya. Like we can say that when education was introduced, it was introduced by the missionaries, and from there it evolved. And the CBC today is just how it has been evolving. It is through the recommendations that we have. So I can't just lie on one side that I prefer CBC or 844. But if you check in 1981 or in 1985, when McKay recommended for 844 through the working presidential maybe workforce, we can say that by then 844 was the best because it was all about the practical agriculture, all those that were recommended because of unemployment. So right now with the CBC, it is also focusing on the practical part of it. So I can't just stand and say that
CBC is better than 844. We have to see, we have to check. Why do we say 844 uh, should be looked on, and why do we run or rush to embrace CBC?
So how old is the CBC?
CBC was just rolled out like in 2017, so it is not that old, but 844 is around 30 years, 35 years.
Now, educational stakeholders in this country have used the 844 for, like you said, over 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so and now they have introduced what we consider to be the competent-based curriculum, the CBC, that has lasted for at least 5 years now. Meaning that they have identified some weaknesses within in the 844. That's why they brought in the CBC.
Yes.
Can you identify some of those weaknesses that is saw within the 844 before introducing the CBC to them?
Okay, when we talk about 844, it was all about examination oriented. Like me as Celestine, I could just take like a book, I read, then after reading, I'm going to maybe I cram everything, then I go and write it. You understand? But with the CBC, we have to identify the learner's need. We nurture their talent and put it into practice. Like if I'm Celestine and I'm at that younger age, a teacher is able to identify that I'm good in music or I'm good in drama, and it is that pathway that like they choose a pathway for a learner depending on what you are talented in. Yeah. So in 844, it was all about summative examination. And in the past, Kenya has been ranking the schools from the best one. This is performing best. But with CBC, we don't have something like that. It is all about formative evaluation, where it is we have continuous assessment of the learners each and every time. So it's help in it emphasizes more on learner's talent or what a learner is capable to do. And again, if you check in 844, there are many learners who are left behind. For example, if I score more than or below 200, I cannot move forward, or I'll feel I'm a failure. Like it's many learners who are known as failures. Maybe if you fail in a certain subject, you see. But now in CBC, even if you fail, there is something you can't fail in life. You all know that. So like there is that specific thing that you can do better. So with that is okay.
Okay, so okay now, from meaning that the teachers or school administrators are responsible to identify talents within the children, disciplines,
Yeah, that is
and grow and train them within their talent areas, right? Is that what you said?
yes.
Now, why for all the years, the short period of years, we have understood why parents are rejecting the CBC curriculum.
Okay, what I can say, not all parents are rejecting it, but okay, they do reject it, and they are still rejecting it. You know, CBC is also expensive, and it also need parental guidance. Like you'll be told, like a teacher will say, these and these you are supposed to go and do it uh, through like the parent guidance back at home. So like most of the parents they work, some are illiterate, so they were not trained on CBC, and if they were trained it was not adequate, so they will have to uh, reject it or to be against it.
Are you saying that government is supposed to train parents?
Of course, because you know, like in CBC, parents are also stakeholders. You know, like it is not like 844 where like parents were giving out their money in the schools so that their children should be educated. In CBC, you'll find that parents are also part of it. A parent will, the teacher will request a parent that you should go and teach a child on how to wash the toilet. And that is part of the assessment that is being done. So parents, they don't have that time, for example.
I was reading on news on Thursday. I was reading on news on Thursday, and the news was saying that universities in Kenya are rejecting students who successfully completed the CBC curriculum. Specifically, they mentioned the University of Nairobi, the Vice Chancellor, Dr. James Keruma. He's saying that in the communication that the University of Nairobi has not developed a structure in order to enroll students who have successfully completed the CBC.
The CBC, we are in grade 5 at the moment, meaning many of them have not transited to university. And that's why we can say many universities are now coming up. They are integrating the CBC in education. Like in my department or in any other educational departments in Kenyatta University, you'll find that if we have, for example, communication skills, UCU, that is what it was called back when I was in undergraduate. There was nothing to do with the CBC, but right now you'll find that there is integration of CBC. So you can't say that there is a university that can just chase away a student because they are CBC graduates. No, each and every university right now, they are preparing, and some of them have started integrating the CBC in their system. Kenyatta University is one of the universities.
How successful, in your opinion, is the CBC? The reason I ask this question is that we know there are thousands of schools across Kenya, especially in the rural areas. And this now, like you said, the university had just started integrating, the training of the CBC curriculum, and the curriculum has been up to 5 years. These two, are you trying to tell me that all of the teachers, thousands and thousands of teachers, have now gone or are going on the training of the CBC curriculum?
Okay, that is a good question. If you check,
If you check the university, yes, of because from what I read in the news, the University of Nairobi is now implementing the CBC curriculum. So let's say Kenyatta is the only area that is accepting that for now. Is Kenyatta University has a capacity to train a thousand of teachers that are supposed to cut across Kenya education system?
okay, can I tell you something? In most of the learning institution, like in the 21st century, what they are trying to do, they are trying to integrate these skills. We have educational skills or the 21st century skills that the learners are supposed to be having. So when you are saying that, is it that Kenyatta University, are they preparing for integrating the CBC? Of course they are. And even in UN, that is United.
In that regards, can you identify maybe a strength within the CBC in terms of supporting the CBC curriculum?
Okay, I just the way I said earlier that CBC is all about identification of the learner's need, and after you have identified the learner's need, you are in that position to help the learner to continue with what they have interest in. I think that is different with what has been in 844. So to me, CBC is not that bad, or I can't reject it, but it helps those learners who are known to be nobody, like those who are known to lack skills in terms of not scoring A. Like today, even if you score D plus, you are nobody. Like that is what the world is. That is what Kenya has been. Like if your child score a D, you will sit down with that child and tell the child that you've really wasted my money, you've wasted my resources. But today with the CBC, that will now not be there. Like there will be difference.
In order to enroll as a student of Kenyatta University or other university in Kenya, upon your graduation from secondary school, do you have to write entrance or entrances?
Where?
Entrance or entrances
Where?
in Kenya? Like for example, I graduate from Form 4 and I want to enter the University of Nairobi or the University of the Jomo Kenyatta University or the University of Kenyatta. Do I have to write an entrance like is usually done back home in Liberia?
No. In Kenya, like for you to
Enroll for undergraduate program.
yes, yes, for
Do
you
I
to,
have to write entrance?
that is the national examination that I was talking about, the summative examination. Like in Kenya,
So
the
that
current.
are coming.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand this.
Mm-hmm.
But in Liberia,
Okay.
what normally happens is that we have what we call the West African Examination Council, WIAC, that have been changed to WAS. The results can never or never have it been used to determine you to enroll at any one of the universities back in Liberia. Are you telling me that those national exam result is an instrument used to determine which university you enroll?
Of course, like I can say in Kenya, for you to enroll into the university, you have to have a grade. And that grade will only come as a result of the national examination that is being done after the end of 4 years or 8 years in primary school. So that is what has been there. If you finish your class 8, that is the 8 years in primary, then now transiting to the university, there that is the the KCAC,
Which is the national examination.
yes, will help you to transit to what? To the university. For example, you cannot, in Kenya, you cannot transit with a D plus in the university. There is a maximum grade that one is required to transit, to use to transit what? In the university. For example, right now, the entry point to the university is C plus. That is the government entry point to the university.
Okay, so if I have an A,
Yes.
does that mean that I have a specific university to attend, or I have the right to choose which university to attend?
Okay, you cannot.
For example, maybe if I have a B, okay, those who got B
Mhm.
is supposed to attend the University of Kenyatta.
No.
Those who get C is supposed to attend the
No.
J University.
No, that
Those
is
who
not.
have A should go to the University of Nairobi. Is
No.
that how the
No,
categories?
no. It is not like that.
So if I have my grade depends where I want to go.
Of course, your grade will only depend. Okay, it will help you in maybe transiting to the university, but we can't say a specific grade will help you to transit to another university. That is not true. For example, if I have C and I'm a government-sponsored student, I mean C plus, and I'm a government-sponsored student, I can either be posted in Kenyatta University or the University of Nairobi or Jomo Kenyatta. It depends with the course that you are doing that university is offering.
So
And it also depends with the point that university is giving.
what do you mean government sponsor student?
Okay. In Kenya, there is that grade. For example, if you have C plus, B and above, I mean C plus and above, that is in Kenya. The government is taking responsibility of educating you. Responsibility of educating you.
Wow.
Yes. And that the lowering it never used to be C plus. It was lowered for the girl child to improve girl child education because many of girls they were not transiting to the university. But right now it is for every person who has C plus.
So are you saying that many of the students here, or
Yes.
almost everyone that is at Kenyatta University, do not pay tuition because of government sponsor?
Not all of them are government sponsored. Not all.
Okay.
Yes. There are some who are self-sponsored.
But you are saying C plus become government.
Yes.
And before you enroll at the university, you want your C plus. How will you have a C plus and you are not factoring in for government sponsorship?
Okay, now it depends with the course you are doing.
So government is sponsoring specific course to take responsibility.
No, the government is the government will allow anybody who has that C plus, but it will depend on the maybe the course that you want to pursue.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, we're going on Focus on Education, the second edition. We have our guest, Ania Celeste Otieno. She's a master candidate for in education management at the Kenyatta University. So please stay tuned as we be back shortly. Never stop learning because life never stop teaching. Welcome to Focus on Education on KG Flash with me, Ambassador Jimmy Josh. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Nairobi, Kenyatta, and from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monrovia, Liberia town. This program looks into the comparative analysis and appreciation of the education systems of Liberia, Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the world with my everyday guests. Okay, welcome back to the second edition of the program Focus on Education. And our guest here in studio is Celestine Otieno, a master student at the Kenyatta University of University. Sorry, I almost said University of Liberia, where we're from. Now, before we took the break, we were discussing how, or one can become a candidate or a student at Kenyatta University or other university. Now, if I have obtained the grade level for the requirement to be enrolled, what what is the first step? Is this that I need to fill in an application form, or what is it? How is the process like?
Okay, if you are seeking admission in the university, there are two ways. I said the first way is you either be sponsored by the government or you be self-sponsored. So that those are two different people. When I'm self-sponsored, like I pay my tuition fee as an individual, I will come to seek for that admission. I will request for it. But if I'm a government sponsored, no. It is the government that will post me to Kenyatta University. It is the government that will post me to Jomo Kenyatta.
So how do I get post? By email, or there's a specific area or my name will appear in newspapers that you're supposed to enroll to this place? I don't understand.
No, the government is having the
Website.
government. Yeah, there is a government website, and if you have C plus and above, you are having access to that website. Yes.
Okay, then you would from the website now.
Yes.
It will be clear that you're supposed to attend.
Yes, you will have the information. And that information, even in your school, the school where you sat for your examination, it will be there in your school.
One thing I understand here is the issue about boarding schools. Now, back home in our country, uh, you don't hear about boarding school. Maybe the whole country may have one or two boarding schools. We call them town or mission. Somewhere we call them. Uh, but here, many parents, when you interact with them, if they have 3 to 4 children, they will take 3 of them, and at home they are in boarding schools.
Okay.
What is the advantage of, like, for even the Kenyatta University? The last time we had a meeting with the accommodation manager, and they told us that the director, she told us that the Kenyatta University hosts up to 10,000 students for accommodation. So, what is the significance of establishing an institution and attaching accommodation program to it?
Okay, according to my understanding, I can say that boarding school has many advantages. And for a parent to take the student to a boarding school, there are some of the advantages that they are seeing, or some name of the school matters. For example, when you talk about Maseno School, or when you talk about Alliance High School, it depends with where Ghana is coming from. You can't tell me that I'm coming from, I said that I'm coming from Mabay County, and I want to come to Alliance High School, which is in Nairobi County. I can't travel to and fro, that distance. And that can be one of the reasons why the parents will decide, I'm going to take my child to this specific what school. Then it also depends with economic background of the parent. If the parent is able to give, and maybe they feel that I want my child to always be in school under the care of the teachers. For this parent, I mean, for this learner, at the end of it, have that good grade. Back at home, we do say that when a child is in day school, there's some of the activities that they are maybe they're being given that do interfere with their studies. So many parents, they maybe they look forward in avoiding that kind of interference with their learners' progress in terms of learning. So that is one of the reason why the parent will decide to take the child to the boarding school. But if you see the content, what is in boarding school and what is in day school, they are same. It is similar. The same teachers who has gone through the process of maybe how they were educated on how to teach them. It is just same.
So in Kenya, can you be a teacher
Yes.
for secondary school and teach more than one secondary school, day school?
No. In Kenya, for example, we have a body that is it employed teachers. You will only be employed in one school, not in many schools. Only
Yeah,
one
but
school.
the body you are talking about could be responsible for public schools. But if this means a teacher in a public school, doesn't he have the right or the time to teach another private school?
No,
They don't work that way.
no, it doesn't work that way.
And now I also understood that before you become a teacher here in Kenya, you need to have one.
You have a TC number.
And what is that?
When we talk about TSC number, we are talking about, TSC is Teacher Service Commission. So there is an identification, just a number that if you have as an individual will show that this is a teacher profession. You are undergone through vetting. They know that you passed. You've done all educational units. You've done all your teaching subjects, like you are a qualified teacher. So that is an identification to show that you are a qualified teacher. So you can't be employed.
So do you have to read an test
For you to be
for you to that will qualify you to obtain a number for the institution, or you just need to fill in the application form, submit your documents, and then do the vetting, and then they issue you the number.
okay, for you to be a teacher, you have to go through process of that process of like you have to be you've gone through several modules of becoming a teacher. You know, like you are qualified. Like in Kenyatta University, we have BA, like those who are just doing English as I don't know how they call it. They lack some educational units. You can't be a teacher. Like there's some skills, there's some competencies or knowledge that you have to have.
So are you saying, like back in my country, if I went to the through the process of the science college and just do direct mathematics, schools hire me to be a teacher. But here, you are telling me in Kenya, I must do mathematics education
Yes.
before becoming a mathematics teacher.
You have to be a competent teacher. You have to be a competent teacher. Like you have to have all the skills that are required for you to be a teacher. You don't need to go and waste somebody's child. It's unfair. It is against our constitution. It's against
I was told by my brother, he brought, like, he went and requested because his child came in late and it was during the period of COVID, and he requested, "Can you people give me the content or the course or the teach my child at home?" Shockingly, the school administrator told him that we cannot allow you to mislead the child. And this
Yes.
is a man who is a master student, but he has doing biology at the Kenyatta University, but his daughter is in grade one. But they are saying that because he's not a qualified teacher, that he's not even qualified to teach a child at home, even though he may request for reading books from the school so that he can be able to tutor a child.
You
They
know,
said we
that's
cannot
that.
allow you to mislead the child.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that you cannot just wake up and go to class. That I'm Celestine. I understand a certain concept. You can't do that. You have to have the idea. You have to have the. You have to be competent enough so that people like you have to be qualified in short.
Does that cut across also at the University of Liberia? The University of Kenyatta University, I'm sorry, I used to call
Okay.
Kenyatta the University of Liberia.
Okay.
So does that cut across Kenyatta University? For example, those professors, those doctorate degree professors that are teaching the sociology department, anthropology, the English, did they went through teacher training
Of course.
and they are teach at the Kenyatta University. So those who are teaching the biology, the biotechnology, the engineering, did they went to teacher training?
Yes. They have to go. You know, it is just same with the when you are a doctor, for example. You can't just wake up and you go and inject somebody maybe certain drug if you don't understand it. It is just same.
Wow,
Yes.
all the great news. All right, so can you do you have anything to recommend to stakeholders in field education, especially in Kenya?
Okay. What I can say about education in Kenya, um, I can just maybe advise our government that they can check on this CBC well before it's too late. Like they help the learners, they help the teachers, they be motivated. You know, it is only in our country here in Kenya that teachers are being paid less, and with that kind of payment, just
Are you sure?
yes.
Do you know about other countries that are
No,
viewers? Do you know how much?
I'm saying to be a teacher in Kenya is worrying. Like if you see at the field, uh, they're being paid
So
well.
if you have a degree,
Mhm.
how much? What's the estimated amount that you take home as a teacher on
No,
government?
I can't really tell the amount, but what I know
Just
with
estimate.
no with the today's economy, it's not enough. You know, it doesn't
It is
like.
more than 30K.
Of course, it's
But
more than
more
that.
than 30K conversion is almost 300 USD.
No,
And
that
back home in Liberia, people don't take that
you
money.
know that doesn't matter. What matter is like just check the economy of Kenya. The living standards they've gone high. So you are a teacher. At
Right
the end
now,
of the
as you are
day,
talking and people are watching in Liberia, they want to even come to Kenya to make that money.
it's
And
okay.
you are
No,
complaining.
I'm just saying I'm not complaining. And by the way, I'm also complaining on the other hand because to me it's not enough. Like for somebody to be motivated, they are supposed to have something that can motivate them so that they can do their work in a good way without any scratches. You see?
Okay, so before I take leave of you, before you come in with your parting comment, there is something I understood about the CBC curriculum, and I want to hear from you. It's more practical.
Yeah.
Okay, so I give an example. I was told that sometimes they even take the student to the market
Mm-hmm.
to do some sweeping, to sweep the market.
Yes, to
And
clean the
it's to clean
market.
the market, and another student
Clean the
is to clean the
market.
market, and another student intent is that so that the day they are going home, and then they see so much cleaning the market, they should not develop the idea to say this person, does not have work to do, or this person is poor, but they should develop a positive attitude to cleaning the market. Meaning, this place, the person thinking is that the place So that's good. Also, they were told that they will allow you to teach a child how to wash. Like for the info for the giving the project to go and do, parents just take the project and give it to someone in the community to fix with all the students involvement, even the parents involvement, and then they just take it, get the full mark. But this CBC now, you have to attach photographs, sometimes even video, to show that the children themselves are involved into such a thing. How true is that?
It is very true. Like when you, I think it was the last 3 months or so, like most of the teachers, they were requesting the parents to take the videos of the children when they are washing the toilet, to take the videos of the children when they are maybe washing the dishes. It is very practical. So it is something which is happening.
Don't you think one of the reasons why parents continue to and to reject, some parents continue to reject such a thing is because of the extra financial cost that is attached to the CBC? I give example, if you have a child in school and you are paying 45K maybe for the year, and then you realize that the extra activities are supposed to be done by parents and students, they have to buy materials and everything because of the 50K. So the parents will look and say, wow, it means I will have to pay up to 60K to the end of the year because of this. Maybe that could be the reason. But if school administrators and school government can come and say, okay, since this is the situation of the implementation of the CBC, schools now need to drive those that are charging 45K, they need to drive it to 30K. I think such a thing, don't you think it will motivate parents to support the CBC curriculum?
Okay, like to my understanding, what I can say about CBC, it's just lack of understanding. Like parents, they don't understand what CBC is.
And
Like,
and you told me they are trained.
no. I said they're not trained. I said parents are not trained.
And they're supposed to be trained by government.
Of course, they're supposed to be trained.
What's the time? And they are working class people, most of them.
Not
They are
really.
business
It
people.
is all about creating awareness. Like you can't tell me that that parent who is back in the rural area in Bay County understand that this is most of them, they don't even have the gadgets or the phones, the smartphones. So like if they are trained that this and this is what is required, this and this is what is required, or this and this is what we are supposed to do, they will understand. Then another thing is that a parent who you've just told about it's being expensive, that you used to pay a certain amount, then now you have to add additional amount. That is also a challenge to the parents, because most of the parents, just as I said earlier, that in Omabay County, you'll find that those who are around in the interior part of Omabay County, they live below the poverty line. You see? So when they live with that poverty in them, you can't just wake up and you tell them that now we need some assessment materials. You're supposed to buy your child five. It is expensive. That would make them to reject it.
Do you think there was proper assessment done in order to release and mandate the implementation of the CBC curriculum, or someone is trying to score political gain?
What I can say is that assessment was done, but it was not adequate. That is what I can say. It was done, but was not adequate. Like even the piloting of the CBC, it was not done the whole country. It was done in specific schools, not all the schools. The teachers who are trained, not all teachers were trained, but what I know, they are still going through the process of what? Training. Not all of them were trained, the CBC. So that is what happened. I can't just say that it was, but they tried.
But do you think it was political?
Right now, it is the politicians who are coming in to say that the CBC should be scrapped off. But now I can say that there was a politician who also came up with the CBC. The CBC came as a result of the task force, the recommendations that were put in place.
Thank you so much. Do you have any closing statement?
Okay, what I can say is that the government should look on the CBC. It's a good thing.
All right. Thank you so much for talking to us. focus on education. Never stop learning because life never stop teaching. Welcome to Focus on Education on KG Flash with me, Ambassador Jimmy Josh. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Nairobi, Kenya town, and from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monrovia, Liberia town. This program looks into the comparative analysis and appreciation of the education systems of Liberia, Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the world with my heritage